If by some chance, some stroke of luck, or some act of God, you have stumbled upon this broadcast, you are listening to the Chivalry Chronicles with your host, Dr. DLH.
I'm a damn doctor.
David.
We're going to bring the tea
refuse
to not drink during the podcast.
Yeah.
And me, Jaime.
They need to make podcast equipment a lot more expensive to get some of these clowns off the air.
Gather around as we discuss a modern, manly approach to chivalry. So I hope you're ready, because I know we are. So let's get into it.
And we're back. Damn, that was perfect right there. That's how you do it. Sitting here with the Siskel to my Ebert. We have Leo Noriega, the movie expert, the movie critic, and we're gonna discuss. You know, we've been on this movie kick, and there's been a lot of great movies. I've been watching so many freaking movies, and I really want to talk about them, and we need to at some point. But today, we're just going to talk about movie soundtracks, right? And I think I want to eliminate movies that are documentaries, right? Like, we don't want to talk about the freaking Bruce Springsteen movie that just came out, because it's all Bruce Springsteen songs, right? We don't want to talk about
what's the Queen movie? What was it called?
Yes, that movie with the kid from
Mr. Robot and all that goofy.
Yeah. Because that's basically a soundtrack. Like Joaquin and I just went to go see the Iron Maiden movie. That's not going to be on this list, right? Because we're talking about movies that had their own soundtrack that are top notch soundtracks, and we're going to give you our top 5, but we're going to run through a list, and you'll get points if you actually bought it. Like, if you actually went out and bought this soundtrack, then you get a little bit, I guess you get a little gold star, next to that item on the list. So when you think about movie soundtracks, what do you think about? Like, what comes like right off the bat? This is it right here.
You also got to separate. There's great needle drop soundtracks.
Yes.
Where you buy the album and it's like chronologically the movie, like Guardians Volume 1 or whatever.
Yes.
And then there's
all of them, but yes.
There's like movies with a great score, which I'll also buy. I've also bought soundtracks like that. So It just depends on, what you prefer, what you like. Because sometimes they'll do both, right? Like the original score and the soundtrack.
Yes. And then sometimes you buy the soundtrack and it doesn't even have the damn song on it that you wanted to hear because it's not part of the soundtrack. Yeah. I hated that shit. There's a Tupac song on Above the Rim that I went and bought Above the Rim soundtrack, and it didn't have, I think the song is called Pain. Now, if I go to Spotify, it shows up now. But back in the day when all you could do is go buy the damn thing, it didn't have it. Like, I was like, hey man, I came to listen to this one damn song, and it's not on this freaking soundtrack. And I guess that's
strange. And
that's a good one too. Above the Rim is an excellent soundtrack.
Wikipedia says it was on the tape version. I don't know how we can
see, and that makes sense because I bought the CD.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. That album is so good though, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So what are the albums that you think of when you think of soundtracks, or what are the movies you think of?
Well, that's part of sort of movie fandom. I think sometimes the soundtrack is just so memorable, and in other cases it's like propulsive. It's all you remember. It enhances the, in movies, or when you go to the movies, it's so loud and shit, and it's immersive. So if you got a good soundtrack and the movie's good, because the opposite can be true. Like, damn, that movie sucked, but I'll still buy the soundtrack because the soundtrack is good. Now, obviously, we're talking about the Dark Ages now. '90s and 2000s when, that was still. I mean, not that soundtracks aren't a big deal now, but back then, the soundtrack to X movie could be tracking on, the charts because the movie was huge. Like, I don't know, when's the last time that happened here recently? Black Panther, maybe?
Black Panther was a great album, a great soundtrack. I think one of the most, I don't think it's influential is what I'm thinking about. The most diverse that I can remember, and I love that soundtrack, is Pulp Fiction. Yep. I mean, we used to listen to it from beginning to end. I mean, it was just, and it's kind of, it has Jungle Boogie, and then it has, like, Girl, dun, 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 dun. I mean, it's just like, I never heard of Overkill. Yeah, Urge Overkill. I never heard of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who you are, but that song's cool. It's
and
just,
then it had like drops from the movie, like dialogue. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then you catch yourself doing the shit that the characters were doing in the movie, like whenever Bruce Willis is driving and he sees and he's just tapping on the steering wheel.
Wallace.
Yeah, he sees Marcellus Wallace and he's just singing the song.
He's like, counting flowers on the wall. Yeah. That don't bother me at all.
And he's just tapping the steering wheel.
Yep.
So that's a great one. So what's
now you're just pulling your list out, or what are we doing? Are you just throwing out names?
To me, that's one of the most diverse that I remember that I remember buying, or that we bought. I don't know who bought it. I don't know if it was me or Jose or it had to be me or Jose, and it probably Jose. I don't remember, but we used to listen to that damn thing
we had
all the time.
I remember the tape. Somebody had the tape, and then I bought the CD at some point.
Yeah,
and it's still, it's a great soundtrack. Again, like I was saying, it just, some of these songs, I can't say what Quentin Tarantino has done for Dick Dale's career. Everyone knows that song now, Miserlou.
Yeah.
To the point where the freaking Black Eyed Peas did that ridiculous song. What was it called? Pump It.
Yeah.
Remember, that's just Dick Dale, a Dick Dale sample, like ridiculous. So everyone associates that song with Pulp Fiction from then on for the rest of time. And that happens with movies too. Like, how many songs did Guardians of the Galaxy bring back into the freaking culture?
Oh,
just
yeah.
Because they were so iconic in the movie.
No, Guardians is one of those other ones that you came out of there and you're like, I want to listen to that album. I want to listen to those songs.
Yeah. Even the third movie did that to great effect, right? Because it had the Space Hog song. In the meantime, it had Faith No More. Yeah, We Care a Lot.
We Care a Lot.
It had different songs. Like, even the last song is like a Florence and the Machine song. A song I didn't know. It just, now, it makes you, one, want to watch the movie again, which, it's okay to rewatch movies, even though you're board approved. Don't watch movies more than one time.
That's erroneous on all accounts. So, like, how many movies freaking had Ain't No Mountain High Enough? You know what I'm saying? That song is in, like, I don't know, at least 5 movies that I can think of.
Yeah, and then, Scorsese famously always uses freaking the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
What is it?
Let's see.
You know what I'm talking about. It's in Goodfellas. It's in The Departed.
Yeah, and he uses it twice on one of them.
He uses that great song from, what is it, on The Departed? You know what I'm talking about?
Which
on
one?
The opening credits. The Dropkick Murphys.
Yes.
Remember the scene, Leo is in jail already, and he's like freaking working out and shit and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing the dips and shit.
Yep.
And that song, I don't know who played it. It was a hockey team that was pretty hype as hell, dog.
But yeah, Scorsese is another good, sort of music, he knows what songs to use at what point. Like Layla in Goodfellas is just genius.
Layla, Give Me Shelter and The Departed.
Yep.
That's a great song.
Oh, he uses that. What is it? The Pink Floyd song also in The Departed.
Yes, but it's not the original Pink Floyd song. It's the
Is it Roger Waters? I don't know, but great choice. So yeah, Goodfellas, great soundtrack. The Departed, great soundtrack.
That's
But
a great freaking movie, man. The Departed.
But then, yeah, but you can take the wrong lessons from these things and just have just kind of goofy needle drops in your movie, and you're trying to do the thing. You're also, I don't know who you're trying to help. Like Thor: Love and Thunder. Does Guns N' Roses do we need to hear freaking Sweet Child of Mine and
Yeah,
all
November
those songs
Rain.
again?
Yeah, November Rain, and then
Whatever. Yeah.
and then they dropped the ball because Rainbow in the Dark is at the end. You're like, man, this should have been like the freaking
yeah.
song of the whole thing. When I heard it, we were sitting there kind of waiting for the end credits or whatever, the scene, and then that song comes on. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the freaking perfect song for this goddamn movie. And y'all here jacking around with freaking
Yep, that was perfect.
with November Rain.
Guns N'
and-
Roses again. Like,
yeah.
why are you trying? Like, what are we doing? Or Captain Marvel with No Doubt, I'm Just a Girl. Like, oh, okay, a little bit on, a little on the nose. I didn't hate that, but it's like, okay, did we have to do that? So some of
Yeah, she had a bunch of songs
and I guess
like that.
and I guess it's the Guardians effect too, a little bit. Like the MCU keeps trying to do that, and the DCU, to a lesser success, is doing the same thing too. With like Justice League had the really goofy Beatles cover of "Come Together," right?
Yeah.
Get it? The Justice League are coming together, Jaime. Ridiculous.
Yeah, Captain Marvel had "Crazy on You," "Kiss Me Deadly" by Lita Ford, which I love both of those songs. But you're doing too much,
Yeah, the movie was supposed to be set in the 90s, and as far as I can tell, just Carol Danvers wearing a Nine Inch Nails shirt isn't enough for me. But anyway, we digress.
All right. So as far as movies or movie soundtracks, do you want to run through your list and then give me your top 5? Do you want to, what do you call it, rapid fire them and then give me the top 5, or do you want to give me your top 5 and rapid fire?
I'll go top 5.
Okay.
I have some honorable mentions though. First,
No, my list is freaking
and
is super long, and I think I bought most of these. So if you bought them, that trumps. So sort of if you're kind of leaning towards one or the other, if you bought it, then that automatically goes up. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, I bought all these. So do you want 5, and do you want to
Yeah, give me your
honorable
5.
mentions, or what should I do?
Yeah, give me your
Okay.
5, because if
right.
if I have some in your 5, then I'm taking mine out.
All right.
It clears up my list.
All right, number 5 is the Inception soundtrack.
Inception. Okay.
Which, yeah, because all these tracks, it's just the movie, right? Like, there's this is all Hans Zimmer music, but they're just great. Like, I just think about these songs and they get stuck in my head all the time. Anytime I watch the movie, it makes me want to watch the movie. And I was just obsessed with this movie for a little bit. Like, say what you will about the movie, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people think it is overcomplicated, and the defenders of the movie are like, "Oh, you just don't get it because it's too complex." I don't buy into any of that. It's just a great movie. Great Leo performance.
I don't really remember it. I remember the song that they play when they're trying to come back. That French song or whatever. Je ne regrette rien.
Yeah, and that's not on the soundtrack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the only song I remember.
Yeah. Throw it on your Spotify next time and just play it through. You're just going to think of the movie. I love the soundtrack. And then the famous, boom, whatever everyone always talks about with Inception. Great soundtrack. I bought it on the Blu-ray, the first Blu-ray I bought of this movie. It came with a disc. It's not a CD, but you could listen to the soundtrack like that. It's weird. And I own the soundtrack. Anyway, great soundtrack.
Okay.
But that's 5.
That I didn't see coming, and I've never heard it. Like I said, the only song I remember is that French song, just because they played throughout the whole movie, and not quite like Dangerous Minds and shit. But like, I'll see you after school. Brent.
ridiculous.
As I walk through the valley, it's like, God damn it. It's another fight.
Hey, that's another movie I saw with you.
Yeah.
I think I was still in high school, and it was such, we don't want to go off on a tangent about that movie. Let's see. Next soundtrack, The Crow.
Okay. Yeah, I figured you'd have The Crow.
Big fan of this. And then I was going to say, like, some of these soundtracks back in the 90s and 2000s, like I was saying before we started, sometimes your favorite band or your favorite rapper or somebody would put out a song on a non-album track, right? It's like, oh, this is an original song for this movie. And it's like, this is the only place you can get it. And if you were obsessive like we were, it's like, oh, I got to get the soundtrack, even if it's just for that one song.
Yes.
Which you spend the $10, $12 or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Less Than Zero was one of those. Less Than Zero had Inagata La Vida by Slayer, or the cover. Yeah,
the cover. And The Crow, great movie. I know you said you revisited it and you weren't too impressed with it. This is sacred text for me. This was like 1994 or something, based on a comic book. He looks cool. He looked cool. He inspires Sting to turn into the Crow character in WCW for a while there. Okay, the legacy of the Crow. That's cool in my book too. But this one has, The Cure. We got a Stone Temple Pilots song, which was on their second album, but still a great track. There's a great Nine Inch Nails cover on this thing called Dead Souls.
Yeah.
It's a Pantera song. There's a Helmet song. I don't know. Just great soundtrack. It Can't Rain All the Time. That's like the famous thing from the movie. That's a song on, that track's on here. Rage is on here. Rage Against the Machine. Anyway, great soundtrack. Great movie.
I did watch that movie.
It's so 90s.
Liana and I watched it, and I was really hype about watching it, and I was like, "Oh, non, you got to watch it. It's kind of dark, It's like one of those movies that there was no sun in this movie. Everything's dark." And then I was watching it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's not as good as I remember it." He's overly dramatic, everything he does. So I was like,
I don't know.
Yeah, my bad. This is not.
I don't know. It still holds up for me. But yeah, The Crow. Next one, another 90s soundtrack. And this is the case of the soundtrack is better than the movie. And another case of I could only get these songs because they put them on the soundtrack at the time. And it's Singles. Remember the movie Singles?
Yes.
Not a great movie, but it has two great Pearl Jam songs on it that you could only get on the soundtrack. And now, now in the era of streaming, and they've since put these on like compilations way later. But this was 1990. What year was that? 1992.
Yeah.
So it's got two original Pearl Jam songs, and one of them is might be my favorite Pearl Jam song of all time. It's not even on the album, "State of Love and Trust."
Yeah, I love that song. I was telling you that when I was listening to, it was like the greatest hits. Because, you and I, we have our conversations about Pearl Jam. You say, I hate Pearl Jam. And I was like, I've never heard this shit. Like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to, I always tell people, like, I'll give it a once over. You know what I'm saying? So I'd listen to that album. It was like the greatest hits from like whatever to whatever. It has some dates. And then I called you and I was like, look, I listened to the whole thing and it reminded me of like the Pearl Jam that was on MTV, right? And which I didn't quite was all that impressed with. I go, but like this song I'm in. Like this is like probably my favorite Pearl Jam song. And you're like, that's my favorite Pearl Jam song. And I was like, okay, well now we have that in common. Like I do love that song. And then what sucked about that is that I'd listened to it on Apple Music and it wasn't on Spotify. Like it was like at the time I could only listen to that particular song if I went on Apple Music, which I was like, what is going on here? Why can't I get this album on Spotify? So I think they've since changed that, but another famous Alice in Chains song on here. There's Chris Cornell song, a great Smashing Pumpkins song that's
I think you could only get on this soundtrack too. But just snapshot of the 90s alternative rock, all the kind of music I was into. And again, not a great movie, but a great soundtrack. I definitely bought this one. And it goes on the list just for those two Pearl Jam songs. If the rest of the soundtrack was trash, I wouldn't care. Like, but whatever I spent was worth it for those two songs. Next one is, let's see, what I had, Inception, The Crow, Singles. I had a slot here for two movies, and I just didn't know which one I liked more. And it was the one I'm going to kick out is Black Swan, because I love that movie and I love that soundtrack. And I bought that one. And again, I don't know if you remember the music, it's just really eerie and sort of unsettling. And
that's a great
really good.
That's a great movie. So,
and then a lot of it is sort of like reinterpreting the music of of Swan Lake,
right?
Which is famous ballet or whatever. You're gonna hit me with Dark Knight. It's like, oh, so you're into ballet like he does to Harvey Dent. I chose Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind instead, which is a great soundtrack, great movie too. When we did our top 20 movies exercise, which could be its own thing, but that would be a long conversation. That movie ended up on my list. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Kate Winslet and Jim Carrey.
No, I've never seen that movie. I did see it on your list on the Plex. And at some point, I'm going to watch all the movies that are on your list that I've never seen, and that's one of them. The other one is a really odd movie that I was like, what the fuck is this?
Was it the Florida Project or something?
Which one?
Was it the Florida Project or something?
No, not that one. It was another that just looked like a 90s grunge movie. But it wasn't. It was just the covers are like really weird. I'm like, what the fuck?
If you're talking about 500 Days of Summer, that has a great soundtrack too. I bought that soundtrack also. But anyway, Spotless Mind, just really great. Like the really short songs. I think with the composers like John Bryan, who has worked with a lot of, like when I start to go down the rabbit hole of who these people are, like John Bryan's worked with Fiona Apple. He's worked with people that I like. It makes sense why his sort of whatever sensibilities he's throwing into these movies, soundtracks just connected. And I just think of the movie and I don't know, it's really good. It's really chill. I like this kind of background music, and Black Swan and Spotless Mind have always been that kind of filler background music for me.
Yeah.
So I really like that one. So Spotless Mind. That's 4. And then the top one, we already talked about it, but I had a bunch here that were all Tarantino that I could have gone with. Like the Kill Bill soundtrack is great.
Yes.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is great. Django is great. There's that Tupac song in Django.
Yeah.
Jackie Brown is freaking great. Reservoir Dogs is great.
Yes.
Even Bastards is great. Like, just insanity. And I could have gone with any of those, but we already talked about it. It's Pulp Fiction. It's my favorite soundtrack. My favorite movie of all time. I saw that movie in College Station with you when I was 14. I tell people this story all the time. And then
that's so crazy.
It was like night and day from one day to the next. It's like, just like when we were talking about how when I heard Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers for the first time, from that point on, it's like nothing else was going to, all movies have to be this. This is the bar for movies now.
Right.
Yeah. I had never seen something like that, like non-narrative structure and just crazy violence that's not played to make you uneasy. It's funny, and all these songs are so different from each other. We got the famous Al Green drop in there that was great.
Yeah.
You got all the surf rock. You got, like you said, Kool and the Gang. You got the Urge Overkill song. You got the crazy Calvin Flowers on the Wall song.
Yeah.
And then it just plays great. Start to finish, plays great. Great movie.
Son of a Preacher Man.
Drops. Son of a Preacher Man is great. And then I remember when the first time I saw the movie, and that, he's in Mia Wallace's house, and she's like, go in and make yourself a drink, and I'll be down in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. And he walks in, and that's when the needle drop is for Son of a Preacher Man. And I had never heard that song. I had heard the Cypress Hill song, "It's from the Bong," and I was like, "Wait, was this Cypress Hill? We're here in Pulp Fiction." But no, it was the sample.
Yeah.
So that blew my mind.
So
yeah, Pulp Fiction. That's the top one.
Yeah, Rewatchables has a great needle drop, right? And I couldn't tell you on Pulp Fiction which is the best one, because Son of a Preacher Man, when it comes on, you're like, that's a freaking awesome song for that scene. You know?
Yeah.
Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. Great song in that scene. You know what I'm saying? It's really, man, it's such a great soundtrack. And that's in my top 5. I mean, no doubt that movie, you're right. When you see that, you're like, and I don't remember, like, now when I go see movies, strangely enough, when you'll watch, trailers and shit like that, and you're like, I want to see that movie. And then they drop trailers and you can just go to YouTube and check out the next trailer. Back then, you couldn't do that. You either saw it on TV, or you knew who that director was, or you knew that it's going to be John Travolta and Uma Thurman. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't remember, like, really looking stuff up for that movie. You just know it was going to be these actors and this director. And at the time, you had seen them do other stuff, but this movie is just one of those that blows you away.
Yeah, another Tarantino adjacent project, Desperado. Great soundtrack too.
That's the other one that I had on my list. I have that soundtrack. I bought it. It's a great soundtrack. Yep. I've listened to it from beginning to end. It's really good. Like, the movie. The movie isn't like the greatest movie ever, but it's a good movie. It's a fun time, right? So, Pulp Fiction is on mine. Another soundtrack that I love this movie. I can't even tell you when I saw it, but I've seen this movie a good 20 times. I rewatched it like a couple months ago just because I was like, man, that's such a great movie, and it's Dazed and Confused. Uh-huh. That soundtrack it's basically, when I watch that movie, it just reminds me of us growing up, because that's what we'd do. We'd go to the Fireside Park and drink there. We'd go play football, tackle football, like with no, you didn't have any helmets or pads. You just played tackle football, and we'd stay there and start drinking. And then the cops would show up and we run off into the woods and shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was basically, that's what we would do. That movie.
It's just the soundtrack is just the 70s in a freaking time capsule.
Yeah. And it's really good, man. It's, it starts off with, I think it's Sweet Emotion probably. And it's such a good song just to start off the movie. And it ends with, what is it, like Funk 49 or whatever it is. Such a great song. I mean, such a great soundtrack. Alice Cooper, No More Mr. Nice Guy. Yep. Stranglehold by Ted Nugent before he turned MAGA and stuff like that. Well, I assume he was always MAGA, but that's such a good song. War, Why Can't We Be Friends? School's Out, because that is like the forever anthem for, like every year the last day of school. I mean, it's great.
Up to a certain point.
Yeah.
Up to a certain point, then it just disappeared.
Lowrider by War. I mean,
yep.
It's a Love Hurts by Nazareth. It's a great soundtrack. So that's probably, if I'm going to say Pulp Fiction is 1, I'm going to say Dazed and Confused is up there. And for the time being, I'll put it at 2. Since you went from 5 to 1, I'll go from 1 to 5.
All right.
Forrest Gump, which, we looked up some lists and Forrest Gump doesn't show up, and I don't know why not. But Forrest Gump, because he kind of spans so many years in the movie, has an excellent soundtrack. And I guess
similar vibe to Dazed and Confused.
Yes.
Like they're going, 60s. You going a little bit farther back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. These kind of overlap, so I didn't know if I wanted to lump them together because they do have the same vibe. You know, you have all the like the Fortunate Son and what is it? The
Sweet Home Alabama, of course.
Sweet, yeah. Oh my God, that song, and it's California Dreaming. I mean, just like all this, all these songs that span those different decades. Break On Through, From the Doors. You know, just it's a turn. You know, with by the Birds. You know, to every season. That.
Yeah, and then this is another one that kind of like needle drops in the movie. You know, I don't know how many Doors songs are on the actual soundtrack, but I know in the movie there's like 3 rapid fire Doors songs.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like,
But that's just a great album. You can put that, you know, if you're having guests over at your house and you don't even know what they're into, you can put this soundtrack on and they're gonna find at least one song that they love within the first 2 or 3 tracks. I mean, that's just the way it is with that soundtrack.
Yeah.
And maybe
also same year as Pulp Fiction.
It was in 94? I'll be damned.
Yep. June 94, because this movie won Best Picture famously over Pulp Fiction and
that's right,
and Shawshank.
Yeah, so that has to be up in my top 3. So right now I'll put it at 3, and then I'm gonna go with with movies that I bought the soundtrack and I'd listen to it all the time. We'll go with. So there's two spots left, right? I want to add Guardians because it's such a great soundtrack. But Above the Rim, I listen to that all the time.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah. And then Menace to Society, I'd listen to that all the time. Like I bought that thing, I'd listen to it. And Friday too. So I mean, these are all kind of like movies with rappers as actors, you know, Above the Rim, Friday, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood. They all kind of are in this little subset. So, I mean, you could just put all those as 4 and 5. But I remember buying those albums and listening to them just, you know, just kind of in the car, at home, wherever you put that CD on, and that's what you listen to.
And I mean that Straight Up Menace song for MC8 was just everywhere that summer.
Oh yeah,
whenever this movie came out. And then I really dig that Spice One song. It's great. Spice One has kind of lost to time, but he was a big deal for a second.
I bought his album.
Spice One, forgotten rapper.
Yeah, I liked his first album. It was really good. I have it. I don't think you can even go to Spotify and get it. That's how little Spotify thinks about Spice One.
He put out an album in 2024. You can believe it.
But I was like, can we get some Spice One on the goddamn Spotify? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Welcome to the Ghetto is like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And
I mean, he did that great track with Tupac. Jealous Got Me Strapped. Is that an album track, or where did that song come from?
There might have been another freaking. There might have been another.
It could have been a soundtrack.
Yeah, because Gang Related had a soundtrack that I bought. What was the
wow?
other?
Now that I'm looking at Spice One's discography, I lasted all the way to 1996. I had that album, so I listened to or bought or borrowed from you the first 4 Spice One albums. Hey.
Yeah, no, I had them all.
I don't remember.
I had Gridlock, the soundtrack, because it had a
Gridlock, another good soundtrack.
And I listened to that religiously.
I'm telling you, there were a lot of great hip hop soundtracks. The movie might have been trash, but you know, like I was saying, that ridiculous John Lovitz movie, what was it called? High School High.
Yeah,
and you had to pick up the soundtrack because it had that RZA track, Woo Wear. And it had some other Wu-Tang tracks. Ghost Dog was another Wu-Tang soundtrack.
Yep.
You mentioned Gang Related, and there were several that had Gridlock, that had Tupac songs they were just like I was saying with the Pearl Jam or Smashing Pumpkins or whomever. These were songs for that soundtrack. They weren't album tracks. So if you wanted to hear that Tupac joint, you had to get the soundtrack. It was a random soundtrack.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like How High, the Method Man, Redman movie. Not a good movie. Great soundtrack. So,
yeah.
And the same was true. The same was true for metal at the same time. In this era in the 2000s, the Spawn soundtrack, the Judgment Night soundtrack, a bunch of even some of those crappy. After a while, you started having all these. In the wake of Scream, you had all those kind of movies.
Yeah.
Like I Know What You Did Last Summer and all these kind of movies. And all the horror movies had all these crazy metal soundtracks. It was bizarre.
Well, the heavy metal movie had a soundtrack that had, I mean, if you listen to it now, I don't think I've ever heard Zebra after that. You know what I'm saying? Or like Nazareth. I mean, I know a couple of Nazareth songs, but that I remember listening to that album because we had it for whatever reason. I don't even know who bought it, but we had it.
And then there was I don't know if they did another movie. You remember Heavy Metal 2000? Was it like an update or a reboot?
It was probably a reboot.
Or it was like a sequel. But anyway, great soundtrack. The Heavy Metal 2000 soundtrack had Pantera and a bunch of metal bands like that. Machine Head, stuff like that. Cold Chain. I bought that soundtrack too. Again, forgettable movie, great soundtrack.
Yeah, and then we talked about this Maximum Overdrive. Remember, we were all freaking hyped because it had Who Made Who by AC/DC. We're like, we gotta go see this movie. Terrible movie. But when it came on, you're like, hey, it's AC/DC. It
happens. I mean, I don't know that happens anymore. Like, the movie sucks and you just kind of forget about it. Like, maybe a song gets viral again and people hear it and pick it up again. But it'll never be like, oh, the movie tanked, but the soundtrack is tracking on Billboard or something. I don't know that that'll ever happen again.
Yeah. Who can forget, Nightmare on Elm Street with Dokken?
Oh, yeah. Dream
Warriors, baby. It's one of those you're like, what's going on here? What this?
Okay, so you had all your hip hop soundtracks. You're just gonna lump them all together?
I think so. I think I'll lump all those Above the Rim, Friday, Menace Society, and Boys in the Hood as 4 and 5. Whatever order. What other ones that made your list that didn't crack the top 5, but they were good soundtracks?
I think I said Spawn when we were just kind of running rapid fire.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, you and I went to go see that movie too in the theaters. I think I was still in high school in the summer of '97 or something. And the soundtrack was, how Judgment Night was pairing rappers and
yes.
rock bands and metal bands.
Right.
And the Spawn soundtrack was kind of, I don't know if you want to call it techno music, but electronic music and metal. And there was some good collabs on there, but not good enough to make the list. But I did buy that one too. Spawn, The Matrix had a great soundtrack. You said you didn't quite remember it, but
no, I don't always kind of like The Matrix.
And then remember for a while there, all the Matrix sequels then would just, because that's the best needle drop in the whole franchise for me is the end of the first movie with Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, I do remember that. That's a great song because it sounds grainy and rough and it fits perfect for that scene.
And then they tried to do that for every movie after that. There's a Rage song at the end of the second movie and the third movie. And that's a debate for another day. Should they have made more movies? Because I like The Matrix standalone. They should have just left it alone. And then the last one, Revolutions, was awful. I don't know if you saw that one. Anyway.
No, I haven't seen it.
What I did appreciate about The Matrix Revolution is they finally used the Jefferson Airplane song. What's it called? White Rabbit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They
Yes.
finally used that. Like they missed their opportunity from freaking
From the original
1999
one.
to use that track, and they exactly. So I did think that was cool. But The Matrix, and then I just listed off a bunch of them. We were just talking about hip hop and metal soundtracks. But then there's movies that have great scores, like Shawshank had a great score that I listened to. I don't think I bought that one. I really liked the score to Interview with the Vampire.
Yes.
I think I bought that one. Back to the Future has a great soundtrack. I was watching those movies last weekend. They were just showing them all on the loop on one of these channels.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I was telling you that all the Hans Zimmer stuff, like sort of post Inception and Dark Knight trilogy, he then goes and works with Zack Snyder, and the Man of Steel soundtrack is great. That's not to even talk about all the great scores from back in the day, like all the John Williams stuff and Star Wars and all that iconic. But Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, say what you will about those movies, great soundtracks.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's so many, and most of these I did buy and I still own. And for a while there, I would go to Half Price Books and just hit up the dollar CDs, and there'd always be some kind of soundtrack. Like, hey, I never picked that up. It's only $1. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it. Like Reality Bites, we were talking about that earlier. I was watching the movie the other day because it was on Turner Classic Movies. Like, are you kidding me? Turner Classic Movies was like tonight the premiere of Reality Bites, the Gen X classic. I'm like, the movie just came out, man. It was like 1993 or 94. Why is it on Turner Classic Movies? We were watching black and white movies, man. So it really made me feel old. And then I just remembered the song "Stay" from Lisa Loeb. Great track.
So we used to, growing up, of course, we've said it before, we were huge metal fans, right? And I mean, we dabbled in everything else, right? We did listen to Michael Jackson. We did listen to, kind of your R&B in the 80s, but our mainstay was metal. And then, as I got older and as you got older, we started dabbling into hip hop. We dabbled in hip hop in the mid 80s, with Run DMC and all that. But I think metal has always been our kind of go-to growing up. And so we would get super hype about metal in movies. And like Last Action Hero, like to hear Megadeth, like Angry Again was a big deal.
Yeah,
because you never heard Megadeth, you know what I'm saying, in movies like that. That's why when you were talking about Judgment Night, I mean, it's stuff that you would not, you wouldn't hear. That doesn't get radio play, And Judgment Night had Slayer and Ice-T, which, you're like, man, that's a crazy combination, Pearl Jam and Cypress Hill.
Faith No More in the Booyah Tribe.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of, and so we would get really hyped up about stuff like that. Like we were just saying, Maximum Overdrive with AC/DC. It's just great. Then you have the other movies that, I went to go watch with Letty, like Soul Food. That's a great soundtrack. We bought it. We have it. The Bodyguard. Yeah. It's a great soundtrack. Yeah. Wait in the Exhale. Pretty in Pink. My wife loves that freaking soundtrack. And I remember watching Pretty in Pink, and I mean, it's not like not in my top whatever, but it's a good soundtrack. I mean, you put that on and it takes you all the way back. One that we didn't really talk about, but like Creed, man, the way they introduced music was kind of cool. I don't know if you remember the scene where you just kind of hear a thumping as they're walking through, is it a hallway or they're walking into the gym? And then the closer he's getting to where he's going, the clearer it sounds. And I think it's Dre. I forgot what song it is.
Yeah, and I think it was the last movie. It was The Watcher.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it in the Sinners podcast briefly.
Yeah, and he's great at introducing hip hop in movies. Like in Black Panther, it starts off with Too Short, and it's so freaking badass. When especially that's a Marvel movie, that's Disney. That you don't expect to hear Too Short. As soon as the movie starts, it was such a great intro to that movie.
And even the last track, the SZA and Kendrick, and I was never even a big Kendrick fan. I'm okay with his music. I don't bump Kendrick or anything. R.I.P. Drake's career. Sorry, Rookie. But yeah, I respect his craft. But that song was awesome. The SZA, and they performed it at the Super Bowl.
Yes,
for that was cool.
Yeah, no, that's a great soundtrack that didn't quite make my list, but I've listened to it. I mean that the song X, I guess, that's a great song. Yeah. Whenever it starts, infiltrating your kind of workout playlist. That's a good freaking song, right? Because it gets you hyped up. Brown Sugar is a good soundtrack. Let's see, who else do I have here? We talked about Less Than Zero. It had Slayer doing In the God of the Vita, which is a cover, right? And that's the only place that you could hear it. I mean, back in the day, you didn't have Napster or Morpheus or whatever. It's like you had to go buy that damn album just for that one song, So you're carrying this whole freaking CD for one freaking song, but it was a damn good song.
It's funny you were talking about the Marvel, the MCU kind of, I don't want to say, I think The Dark Knight sort of legitimized these movies a little bit, but the MCU sort of takes the source material seriously, and we stopped getting the mid 2000s movies like Daredevil and Punisher and Ghost Rider, where they weren't treated like most of the time they didn't even get a score. They were just all needle drops.
Right.
And Punisher Warzone, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. I saw it in the theater. Great movie. I always used to say famously, like, the best superhero movie of 2008, because that's the year Iron Man and The Dark Knight came out. Yeah. But anyway, there's a needle drop in the middle of the movie with Slipknot. It was so fucking cool in the theater. I was the only one like, oh, sorry. No one else popped with me. And before you got to James Gunn making the needle drop cool again, we had a bunch of these sort of crappy MCU pre-MCU movies that, like Daredevil had the Evanescence song, the famous song. You know what I'm talking about?
Bring Me Back to Life?
Yeah, that one. So we had a bunch of these goofy movies with these kind of soundtracks. And Punisher Warzone is another one, which is just a metal soundtrack, Sepultura, Static X.
Yeah.
Layers on the Punisher. So
yeah, you had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre also had like Static X and Pantera and all these other, Lamb of God and stuff like that.
Yep. And then, so you had the ones that you're describing, like you also had the R&B soundtrack, like Dead Presidents had a great soundtrack.
Yep.
When you were talking about Friday earlier, they had like the hip hop soundtrack, and then they had like their
inspired by
soundtrack. Yeah, that's the one that had like Mary Jane and all that stuff.
I hated that pissed me off so much because you'd go, oh, here it is, and then you look at it and it has none of the songs. It has the score. It's like it has all the music for the movie, but not the songs that were in the movie. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I need that other stuff, man.
The R&B soundtrack is all those ones you just listed off. Also great stuff.
Goodfellas.
I can remember which one is the one that has the Lauryn Hill song. It's called like the sweetest thing. It was on Love Jones, the movie Love Jones.
Yeah, Love
great
Jones.
Soundtrack. Say what you will about the movie, but great soundtrack. Maxwell, all that kind of stuff.
I don't remember Poetic Justice having a great soundtrack, but I know it had Endo Smoke by Mr. Grimm.
Yeah.
And I bumped that, so
had to have had at least a Tupac song on it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
I don't know if it did.
No, it did. I'm looking it up right now because I was like, I remember Mr. Grimm just because Indo Smoke was a great song, but it does have a Tupac song. It has a Dog Pound song. Tony.
Man, Uptown Anthem from Juice. I swear that was the soundtrack of that whole year, 1992.
Yeah, that song's good, man. It has a great beat.
Yep.
Eric B and Rakim, Know the Ledge. I mean that's a great because it was most of it you just thought New York, right? On that Juice soundtrack. I mean, it had other stuff. It had Cypress Hill and other stuff, but kind of when you listen to it, it's New Yorked out.
Yep.
But there you go. So do we? I guess since you and I had Pulp Fiction, I think that has to be the best soundtrack. And the other thing that we wanted to make clear is like there's other great soundtracks, but I didn't buy them. You know what I'm saying? Like Top Gun, great soundtrack. Yeah, Dirty Dancing, great soundtrack, all that. But I didn't buy them and I didn't listen to them religiously. Now, if I asked my wife, she probably did. Yep. You know, I know. She did buy those and she does listen to them and she loves them. You know, My Bodyguard, all that stuff, or Bodyguard, it's a great soundtrack, all that stuff. But I mean, we were looking at stuff that we bought, that we listened to, and Pulp Fiction has to be up there. You know, greatest
soundtrack ever.
I think, you know, from our list, that's the one that you and I kind of have on our list. You had 4 other ones that I didn't have on my list, but Pulp Fiction, I have to put it up there.
I'm okay with that. It's a great movie, my favorite movie of all time, and my favorite soundtrack of all time. So that says it all.
All right, well then there you go. Greatest movie soundtrack of all time, Pulp Fiction. Board approved. There you go. Argue with your mama.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on your social media, and or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram and X. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.